Linh đứng ở nhà
Thôi đâu
cô
rồi,
Liên
không
tới.
đi đâu hả?
Không, thôi đi.
On behalf of the faculty, staff, alumni, and administrators here in the NEAG School, congratulations to our class of 2019 graduates. We are thrilled to see you reach this point in your academic careers and to witness your continued success into the future. To the family members, friends, guests, and mentors of our grads, you have undoubtedly been a source of enduring support for each of the students we celebrate today. Thank you for all you have done. I would also like to acknowledge a special member of our platform party, UConn's Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, Jeffrey Schulzen. It is a pleasure to have you with us this morning. I would also like to take a moment to thank the extraordinary group of faculty scholars sitting behind me and those in the audience, each of whom are recognized at the national and international levels in their respective fields. These individuals dedicate themselves year after year to shaping our students into pioneering researchers, committed teachers, expert sport management professionals, and strong leaders in education. Before we begin the formal program, we are delighted to invite our NEAG national anthem. If everyone would please rise.
I appreciated that minute or two there because after that beautiful singing of our national anthem, I had a lump in my throat, so needed a little time to swallow. So before addressing you all this morning, so you did it. You excited? As a person from athletics, we got to do a little whoop whoop for you there, right? Start the morning like that. Truly a special day for you all. Centered on recognition for your hard work in the past and the celebration of commencement, which, as you all know, means a start to the future. I'm sure your futures will hold many commencements for you, so congratulations. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be here and to address you. It's a privilege because obviously UConn and the NEAG School of Education are held in the highest regard, not just nationally, but internationally. And I know I'm very proud to wear this robe. I'm sure that you will all go forth with a strong sense of Husky pride yourselves. I think it's terrific that we're honoring both education and sport management graduates at the same time, because I believe academic learning and sport education are beautiful complements to one another. Schools obviously are important for academic reasons, but they also provide the setting for the development of social and emotional intelligence and experiences that teach us how to handle failure and success, how to compete, how to collaborate with others, and as we all know, certainly how to behave according to rules. As you well know, these skills are important to success in both sport and in life in general. The amount of references to sport that we use in our professional vernacular every day are obviously references to this important relationship. So I'd like to focus a moment on the robes that we're wearing. You all are wearing beautiful blue robes, which I think is a wonderful change for UConn. A number of us are wearing robes of different colors here. And we know that the tradition for graduates to wear robes goes back to the Middle Ages, when the first universities were being established in Europe. And I don't know if you know, but most of the students in those days were clergy. And in the world of the clerical student, there was a real emphasis on not standing out from one another. So the robes were used to have everybody kind of look the same, so that there was no extenuous kind of appearance. No one looked any more special than anyone else. From a practical standpoint, it was also very cold. Most of the classes were held in churches. So they wore the robes to keep warm, and they had long sleeves. They could tuck their hands inside the sleeves. And they had hoods, which now we obviously adorn with the colors of our school and the significance of our major. So they have an important tradition. Obviously now, the purpose of wearing the robes has shifted. We embrace your differences. We embrace your uniqueness. We encourage you to stand up and stand out, to be great and to be grateful. My father is a retired minister. He advised me long ago that when you address the public, you should do three things: be sincere, be brief, and be seated. So, with that advice in mind, I will briefly share three things that I hope you will commit to as you move forward in life. First, listen closely to the voice of your internal driver and pay attention to your reasons. In business literature, there are frequent references to internal drivers, situations or forces for change that are under control of the company. Well, we each have our own personal internal driver. Think about what got you here today. Yes, academic achievement, that goes without saying. But what was behind that? Something internal has motivated you to strive for success. The driver inside of us takes on different types of voices. It informs our decisions, it influences our judgment, and it helps us to formulate reasons, the whys behind what we choose to do. Reasons can be powerful and be personal. So I would ask you to always pay attention to your reasons why. What are your reasons for being here today? The second piece of advice I hope that you follow: deepen your education. Learn, learn, learn for the rest of your lives. Whether it's through continued coursework, joining special interest clubs, reading, traveling, attending performing arts activities, embrace every opportunity you can to expand your knowledge and to appreciate what life has to offer. It may be said that the mark of an educated person is action, that educated people learn to do and do to learn. As part of your action, I encourage you to take responsibility for your lifelong learning and the education of others. Help them to enrich their own lives. A woman named Hannah Arendt, who was a Jewish-American political theorist born in Germany in 1906, said something pretty profound about education. She said, "Education is the point at which we decide whether we love the world enough to assume responsibility for it, and by the same token, to save it from that ruin which, except for renewal, except for the coming of the new and the young, would be inevitable. Education, too, is where we decide whether we love our children enough not to expel them from our world and leave them to their own devices, nor to strike from their hands their choice of undertaking something new, something unforeseen by us, but to prepare them in advance for the task of renewing a common world. Knowing that she was born in 1906, you can imagine the context in which that quote was so important. The third piece of advice: seek opportunities to lead. Leadership opportunities will help you to grow as an individual. You'll develop important skills in areas such as communication, management, negotiation, and problem solving. You'll be able to network, and you'll be able to collaborate. You'll be recognized. You'll gain confidence and certainly boost your employability. But more importantly, you will develop your capacity to influence. Effective leaders lead through the power of influence. In their book entitled Leaders, Strategies for Taking Charge, Warren Bennis and Bert Nannis say, there's a profound difference between management and leadership. Both are important. To manage means to bring about, to accomplish, to have charge of, or responsibility for, to conduct. Leadership is about influencing, guiding in direction, course, action, and opinion. The most effective leaders lead through their power of influence. They go on to say that leadership can be challenging. We know that. So I'm going to ask you to consider this job posting. Men wanted for a hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success. I think for those of you who are in leadership roles, that job description may resonate sometimes when you're facing a tough task. That job posting is actually from Ernest Shackleton's expedition to the South Pole, which was slated to occur from 1914 to 1917. And I don't know if you've heard about that arduous journey, but one of the ships in that journey, called the Endurance, became trapped in ice for an entire winter and was drifting northward in 1915. Eventually the ship was crushed and it left the 28-man crew to fend for themselves for months. They camped on the ice, and Ernest Shackleton made an 800-mile journey in a lifeboat to South Georgia and eventually was able to return and save his entire team. The fate of leaders today may not be so dire as to what Shackleton experienced, but he's recognized as a role model for leadership because he kept his team together during an epic feat of endurance and survival. It's interesting to note that Shackleton's team was not selected solely for their experience at sea, but more for their attitude and their character and what they brought. One of his teammates was a musician. One was a psychologist. They were biologists. And they also obviously had talent at sea. More than ever, we need leaders with courage and charisma. Leaders who create a culture of growth. Leaders who engage hearts and minds and inspire others to shape new pathways towards success. We need leaders with the power of influence. We need you. So as you embrace this commencement and embark on your futures, remember how important it will be to do those three things. Pay attention to your internal driver and your reasons. Deepen your education and seek opportunities to lead. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity to be with you today. Congratulations to you, and best of luck, health, and happiness in your futures.
Ann Trainer, the NEAC School's Director of Advising and Certification. As we prepare to present the class of 2019 degree candidates, I would like to take a moment to formally acknowledge all of those NEAC School students who are graduating today with academic distinction. These students, who have performed at the highest level and represent the best tradition of academic excellence, include our Babbage Scholars, New England Scholars, University Scholars, and Honor Scholars. Please join me in giving them a round of applause in recognition of their academic accomplishments. class of 2019 degree candidates. At this time, will the marshals please take their places? Ryan McAvoy. John Moore. Caitlin Samuelson. Maureen Flum. Valentina Tran.
Blessed be!
Connor Strickland. Alyssa O'Toole. Haley Shettles. Catherine McKay. Thomas Jacobson. Catherine Grant. Marissa Masick. Samantha White. Ervan Nazarko. Thank you. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2019.
Buenos días. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, quiero darle gracias a Dios. I want to thank God, as well as my family, mi mamá, mi papá, and my sisters for their unconditional support, love, and guidance that permits me to be up here and share mi historia, my story with you.
order of business, which is what actually makes this graduation official. Joining us to do the honors is UConn's Vice Provost for Academic Operations, Dr. Jeffrey Schulzen.
I don't know if I have any words after that performance. I wrote this a little softy, but that was really powerful. Thank you. Good morning. I really do have the best job here today because I get to confer the degrees on new grads. So would you all please stand, candidates for the Bachelor of Science. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Connecticut and in accordance with the procedures and regulations of the university, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science with which you have been presented at the 140th commencement at the university. I charge you now to assume fully the responsibilities of your new status, to enlarge upon the foundations of knowledge which you have acquired, to take upon yourselves the obligations of an enlarged vision, and to seek to do your fair share of the work of this world. We need you. I'd like to ask all the members of our class of 2019 to please turn and face the audience. You are now officially alumni of UConn's School of Education. On behalf of the University of Connecticut and its Board of Trustees, my heartiest congratulations. Thank you.
We ask all of our guests to please remain seated as the platform party, the faculty, and the students will recess from the auditorium.
I'll never be able to get back in.
Vô trong.
Hurry, hurry, he has to go.
Oh, ready?
That's all right, I got to go. Go, go, go. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Kia hả?
1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
See you next week with the menu.
Ready? Wait. 1, 2, 3. Bắt được kít rồi.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3, I'm good. Yes. Nó làm cho nó cao lên.
No, good.
Trước đó, lúc trước còn hút thuốc ra nó cho thuốc lá hút nữa.
Cái đó là cái thời mình mới sang đó.
Dạ không được.
Mà em không biết tên thôi. Nó có gì thì nó có cái Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, thank you so much.
Trời ơi, bảo that look like a very hard color. Cho khách
Gì á, nó vậy. Nó kêu gì á, cũng cannoli nhưng mà là
chocolate.
somebody else, right?
There you go.
Oh.
Happy Mother's Day. Congratulations, Thảo.